The both of
Yo, yeah, Jack, are you frozen? Sam, are you there? Yeah, Jack, are you frozen? Sam, are you there? Yeah, Jack, are you frozen? Sam, are you there? What are we even doing here?
Yo, Wi-Fi flagging, but they holding it down. How about them J-era Maz ballers running Beantown? They say these guys are ridiculous, yet probably true. Like the 23 Celtics, they got a deep crew. Pregame Papa trying to make some bank. Professor Pete repping Latvia, KP the thank. RJ's on the email taking fools to college. Joey, Matt, Timo, Robin, let's acknowledge. What are we even doing here? We're taking the crown. Checking Sam, talking Celtics and breaking it down. Competition can't keep up, they're starting to frown. What are we even doing here? In the garden, fighting for a quiet spot. Jack's taking notes while the crowd gets hot. Irate, insightful, not a diplomat. Sam's got a long list and it's just for rats. Rat list your Wi-Fi, rat list your dog. Rat list Bronny, rat list LeBron. Rat list the traffic, rat list the song. Rat list that's getting too long. What are we even doing here? We're taking the crown. Checking Sam, talking Celtics and breaking it down. Competition can't keep up, they're starting to frown. What are we even doing here? Might think they're chill, but don't get it twisted. They're not just hustling, they're highly gifted. Still new to the scene and making their mark. It's a humble beginning, it's a hero's arc. Sam's keeping it real with the Starkey vibe, but he's all in with Jack when it's time to ride. Your ass hat in the chat, Jack says don't come back. He's got zero patience for nonsense attacks. What are we even doing here? We're taking the crown. Checking Sam, talking Celtics and breaking it down. Competition can't keep up, they're starting to frown. What are we even doing here? What are we even doing here? We're taking the crown. Checking Sam, talking Celtics and breaking it down. Competition can't keep up, they're starting to frown. What are we even doing here?
Whoa, we made it. Pregame live before Celtics Pelicans. Is today the day? Win number one could be incoming. Jimmy J first in the chat to say Zion going for 25 and 20. Sure isn't. He'll be in street clothes, not playing tonight. We are joined by RJ, who's usually in the chat. RJ, hello.
Evening, gentlemen. Happy to be here.
Hello. I joined the room. I didn't know who the guest was today, and it wasn't loading, so I just saw three boxes. So I got like a drum roll. I was like, oh, and I saw right there. It's like, ah. I was like, who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna
I
be?
kept it a secret today.
And then Jack went, "Oh crap, it's RJ." Nah.
RJ is what inspired the
everybody.
guest this year because he did one of the playoff games with me last year. It went really well, and I was like, "Oh, this is really fun. We should do this on pregame more often to make it just more than Jack and I trying not to get distracted while we sit at the game." So big shout out to RJ. Yeah,
Always
Jared
happy to
says
help out.
Only
James.
time he's happy RJ isn't in the chat is when he's on the show.
Oh, thank you very much. That's kind words. So let's start with what's on everybody's mind, which is what does it mean that the Celtics are 0-3? They've played 3 games.
I agree. I said this on the show.
Wait till they play 82 games.
I said this on the show yesterday. Like it's very clear that the margin for error for this Celtics group is as small as it's been in a long time. And I still believe that they have shown flashes of being capable of playing winning basketball, but they need to do it consistently if they want to win. And whether or not they can do it consistently is where the question lies, in my opinion. I mean, we'll see a really good, snapshot of that tonight against the Zion-less Pelicans team, who has started the season 0-2 themselves. But you never know.
Yep. And I think go ahead.
Got ourselves an ass off today. Who's going to get their first win of the season? That's what we've got. I feel bad. I'm teetering on Team Tank. It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun to go on Twitter and troll and post tweets and be like, "Can't wait till AJ's on the team." What you got?
I think they win by 20 points tonight.
Well, I think they're going to win tonight too.
I think no. But I think it's going to be Derek shoots like 8 of 13 from 3. Peyton shoots like a ridiculous percentage from 3. Jalen does his job. They finally rebound the ball okay. And you can see, like, even when they don't rebound well, you're like, okay, it's just if the shots fall, it's fine. Like, I think that's going to
piss me off.
A better framework of what this team can actually do.
Like they couldn't have made shots in the games I like kind of cared if they won. Like tonight, I don't care if they lose tonight. Like there's no pride that gets hurt. It's just like, I mean, I guess it would suck to lose to the Pelicans without Zion because their team's sorry, kind of even with him.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they've played the two teams they played well. Like I don't know, like what do I care if they lose the Pelicans? Like show them shoot against the Sixers, shoot well against the Sixers, shoot well against the Knicks. Like they've been those two guys in particular have been dreadful shooting the ball. And to me, like that's the most inexcusable thing of the whole like early season issues, like the whole list is Peyton and Derek not being able to shoot the ball. Like slumps happen.
Well,
Sometimes you get cold.
Let
Go
me
ahead.
dive in on that, Sam, because I think one of the things that's easy to look at in the new rollout, the new arrangement is we're all looking at JB going, okay, he's expanding his role, he's stepping up into number one, he's going to score more, he's going to distribute more, he's going to be the center of gravity. But Peyton and Derek are also stepping up as well, and that's putting pressure on them too. I mean, Derek's trying to be more of a facilitator, trying to pick up his scoring. Pritchard the same way, and they're also not benefiting from having Tatum's gravity out there to give them a little extra breathing room on their offense, on their shooting. So while it's visible what JB is doing, I think we need to cut these guys a little bit of slack too and going, they're expanding their role, they're stepping up, they're trying to do more, both in terms of ball skills and in terms of leadership. And you're seeing it from Pritchard in some really nice ways. Even when he's not getting the long ball in, you're seeing him hustle inside for the and one opportunities. He's working the rebounds. He's trying to find other ways to contribute. Derek is still on top of it with the stocks. I'm looking at the stats here right now, and let's see, where was Derek? He's got 3.7 stocks in 3 games, which again is just 3 games, but that's a non-trivial number. So they're all doing the things to contribute, but like Jack says, they just haven't done enough together at the same time or enough long enough to get them across the finish line.
Yeah. It's just the margin for error, man. I know I said it, but I think that's just unfortunately what it's going to be at the end of the day. I wanted to see some lineup combinations. I pulled up like a lineup combination stat, and I know you're talking about like Peyton, Derek, and Jalen. I mean, it really does come down to those guys. It's I'm curious to see how bad the team has been with and without Peyton, Jalen, Derek.
Somebody had some numbers on 4-man lineups that had logged, I think, 30 minutes together this year. The top 3 or 4 in terms of net rating, and the Celtics had 3 out of the 4. The 4th belonged to Oklahoma City.
I did see some stats out today that were, I think they're actually in the First to Floor Discord. Shout out to you if you're in there. It was the anti-Anthony Simons lineup stats. That was just like when he's out there with Jalen and Derek, they're a net negative, and like all the lineups that don't include him are actually pretty good. Which I think there is growing pains with this team. Like objectively, I think there is like you're gonna have better chemistry as the game's gone on both sides of the ball, defensive chemistry. Jack made a really good point about it on the last podcast, the post-game pod from the Pistons game, where they're kind of scrambling and rotating around and can't quite like get back to get to the glass right yet. They haven't figured that part out yet.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's going to get fixed 100%, but it probably will improve. And like Greeny tweeted the stats today. It's like 29th in defensive rebound percentage, 29th in offensive rebounds for opponents, like dead last in second chance points for opponents, like assist percentages in the bottom 5 and 3-point percentage in the bottom 5. Like a lot of those things are connected. Like you will dig yourself out of that hole once you figure them out. The 3-point percentage to me seems like the one that is more likely to be figured out. Like rebounding, they could go the whole year and not be great at it. They might not have the personnel to be great in the glass, and that's going to lose you games. But if they make shots, they're 2-1. Like objectively, they are 2-1. Minot gets the start today.
Okay.
Deserved. Probably will help them on the glass, in my opinion.
I was
ahead.
talking to Michaela earlier. She goes, "Who do you think starts tonight?" And I said Josh Martin. I felt pretty good about myself. That's all I'm saying.
You know,
So I was
Sharp.
I Noah showed me the lineup. I go, "Let's go!" I was like, "I called it." But I think what he showed in like the 10 minutes he played against the Pistons was enough to be like, this can help at least solve some of the rebounding issues. So
yeah, and
I think
it,
there's like a chance that Joe's like you see like in the NFL or other NBA teams will like do like the defensive player of the game, like they give them like some crazy like trophy that gets passed around. Like maybe the trophy the Celtics have is just you get to get the fifth starting spot.
could be. I mean, there are worse trophies to have, and it would be a trophy that means something to Joe. Hey, you did good. You get to do more. You did good. You get to do good the next game for us. Um, I mean, even with the 3 games, Joe's already started to settle into sort of his tiers of who's getting playing time. I mean, JB, Pritchard, and White are over 35 minutes each. Simons, Hauser, Keita, and Ugo, of all people, are in the 20 to 27-minute range. And then you've got Minot, Tillman, Boucher, and I'm going to include Luka Garza because as the third center, he's always going to, the third center on the Celtics will always get some time, and they're coming in between 15 to about 10 minutes a game. So he's trying people. He's seeing who fits where, what fits where. I think Ugo. I love Ugo's defense yesterday. The last 2 games really, and I think really his major limiting factor there is just NBA ready stamina over the course of the season, over the course of a game. But if he has box scores like yesterday, where it's like no points, a couple of rebounds, but he annoys the living crap out of, Cade Cunningham or whoever else he's on, yay, we win. Moral victory at least. I think I'm wearing my hate watch hat because that's my attitude about the tankathon right now, which is it's still too early. And even in the years where the Celtics have kind of tanked out, they're cautionary tales at best. I mean, you had the first year that Brad was in, and they had his crappiest season ever. And I forget who they. Oh, that's right. They got they swung a deal for Kelly Olynyk in like around the 14th, 15th pick, and they picked him over this weirdo from Greece. Never heard of him again. Um, in 2007, they had an utterly craptastic year. That was the year that Pierce got injured and they had like a 18, 19 game losing streak. Everybody thought they were going to have the number 1 pick in the draft. They thought, okay, it's either going to be maybe the number 2 KD or Greg Oden, or okay, worst case scenario, we'll get this Al Horford kid. Nope, they slid to number 5, and at least it turned out that they turned him into some nice moving parts that they won a championship the next year. I bring all this up just to say that even if we get a top draft pick, then 1, 2, or 3, the Celtics are still replacing 4 all-pro, well, 3 all-pro bodies and Luke Cornett when we come in for next season. And there's no one player in the draft that's going to do that. And if we're looking at trying to optimize the Tatum window, waiting 2 or 3 years for enough extra bodies to come in to make that happen seems like not a great proposition. I'd rather see this team go all out, do as best they can, build winning habits, and when JT comes back, they'll be in a position to come together and add 1 or 2 pieces by a free agency or maybe a trade, rather than put it all in the draft basket.
The only reason I would push back on like I'm not fully on like Team Tank. Like I think it's funny to go on there and be like,
Oh, sure.
The beauty of this season is I don't have to care if they win or lose. Like there's no expectations, and that remains true. Like if they win tonight, cool. Like we all got to watch win. If they lose, they get to be 0-4, and I can post more Tank memes or whatever. But like with them adding somebody through the draft, if that was the case, one, I think you make a really good point about you really don't want to wait for that person to be ready. So maybe that results in a trade after you get the pick. So we all spend the whole year, reading up on draft prospects just for them to trade the pick away. That would be a big joke on us. But, also, if you are drafting the person, you're guaranteed well, you're not guaranteed. If the player works out for you, you're guaranteed a player who's going to play rotation minutes on a team-friendly contract for 4 years, which is
Truth.
good. That is the value in doing it for me. And maybe you get lucky and the person is ready to help you right away. Like they got really, really lucky with Jason Tatum when they drafted him because nobody expected him to be that good out the gate where Kyrie and Gordon Hayward are hurt in the playoffs and he's like the face of a team that's overachieving and one win away from the finals. Everybody on that team contributed to that, but he got like a lot of the glory because he made some big plays and just kind of overachieved as a 19-year-old. And then they had him on a friendly contract for years, so they could still pay Kyrie and Horford and Hayward comfortably and still bring in extra pieces around them to try and compete. So the draft is a little bit more valuable than we all think in terms of immediate assistance because you can get a role player from it. But I do agree that the luck has not been kind to them in the past. The year that it was Brad's first season, they did end up with Marcus, but then beyond that, you're on the head. Like fall to 5, the Tim Duncan draft, they had 2 chances at it and they don't get them. Like the list goes on and on and on. The draft historically has not been kind to Boston with their own pick. It's only been since they traded for picks.
If you want a bit of irony, last year Danny and the Jazz were in the same position of trying to get, a high draft pick, and I think they were like the worst or the second worst team in the league. And who do they get? The number 5 pick. Sound familiar? So you never know what's going to be visited upon you. I'm looking forward to that. I mean, it's fun to have a team without expectations, learning what they're capable of doing, and seeing guys that are trying. I mean, Minot, Ugo, Boucher are all busting their butts. I'd like to see. I think Simons is doing the best he can. I've seen him put some effort in on defense. It may not be the greatest result sometimes, but he's not mailing it in so far. So the guys that Baylor and Walsh, I'm not sure why they're sitting at the end of the bench, but who knows? Maybe tonight they'll get some more minutes.
Yeah, I don't think effort's the problem with Simon. It's just he's just not like aware enough, and I think I've said this before. I think we've talked about this in our season. Like processing speed and laziness get like flip flop so easily. Like I just don't think he processes what is happening very quickly, and that's not an excuse for being bad on defense. Like it's still not acceptable. It's just unfortunately that probably means it's less of a fixable issue, which is brutal. But I don't know. I said this on the show. It just seems like he is playing individual Anthony Simons possessions rather than I'm going to be a cog in the Celtics offensive machine, which it is what it is. It can be tough, but I don't know. Maybe he'll smooth out as the season goes on. I don't really know. I've also been looking at some of these lineup stats. Celtics with Pritchard, Jalen, and Derek on the floor, incredible. 128 offensive rating, 110 defensive rating. When all 3 of those guys are off, defensive rating still it's only been 4 minutes, but defensive rating great, offensive rating obviously plummets. But like you mentioned, RJ, of 5-man lineups that have played at least 25 minutes, Celtics have the best. It's that starting lineup with Brown, White, Kate, and Pritchard, Hauser. Great on both ends. It's just when they're not on the court, it's bad.
Yeah. Pardon me. I think also part of the learning experience this year is for Joe too. He's got to figure out how to keep guys motivated. I don't want to make it sound too touchy-feely, but he's got to keep them motivated. He's got to keep them focused, and he's still got to instill Celtic values, for want of a better term, in the team, and bring all that together. And I think for the fan base, it's very easy to think of this is going to be a linear progression. It's going to be a smooth slope, and it's not. You're going to go, we suck, we suck, we suck. Whoa, suddenly we don't suck. And I think there's going to be a game in here, and maybe it's tonight. I hope it's tonight, where shooting variance goes our way. People start figuring out what's happening. Nothing makes you happier than success. And when you succeed, you start picking up other stuff too. So they could drop a 30-point victory on top of New Orleans tonight, and that might turn the corner. Who knows?
They could be due. One of these nights, the starting lineup Missoula plays is going to hit. Like,
yeah.
I feel like these are very much auditions, like my not sliding in there today, Ugo the other day. And Ugo was fine, but like he was just that, like fine. Wasn't knock your socks off good enough where you can't try somebody else in that role. Someone's gonna win this eventually, right?
Mhm.
Like they can't just like have fine, mediocre to fine performances every time they start somebody. Like somebody has to go in there and
Well, when you have mediocre to fine players, unfortunately, that is usually the result.
Pretty much.
yeah, but like
Uh,
you're telling me like no one could even have like a fluke day? Like that like someone will like get a streak going.
But if
Like
they
who's
have a
gonna have
fluke
the
day,
highest starting streak?
and then if they have a fluke day, that means they're probably not going to have that same fluke day the next time. So then I'll probably just go back to whoever. Like, I don't know, man. It's they don't really have a starting lineup. I think just stick with Sam Hauser personally. I think that's probably the smartest idea. But
I mean, somebody's going to be employee of the day 2 days in a row. It's got
That's
to
what I
happen
mean.
just by dumb luck. No, one thing I'm curious about, it just struck me as odd in the last couple of games, is that the Celtics have been forcing some turnovers, not as many as we'd like. But what's been weird is that they've not been able to finish for points at the rim. I mean, they're getting the turnovers and then they're bungling things on a 2-on-1, or they're getting blocked from behind. Ugo yesterday getting mauled by whoever that was just like, okay, the ref's going, you're a rookie. We're going to not call this. But that's another place where there's lost points. There's lost opportunities to, cut margins or build leads. And it's just something I'm not used to seeing on people who get the steal and make the breakaway.
Yeah, the Ugo no call on Jalen Duren was tough. I feel like, I mean, maybe we just haven't watched a rookie play consistent or significant minutes in a long time, but like he is getting a bad rookie whistle. Like there are a few in that Knicks game where I think it was Landry Shamet just absolutely attacked him on a drive to the basket and he got nothing. The chase down from Jalen Duren was brutal. Yeah, he needs a little bit of some grace from the officials here sooner or later. Jimmy J in the chat is pissed. Not thrilled about Derek White shooting. I'm kind of in the same boat. Needs to show up a little bit. And I think him and Peyton finding their footing. Derek feels like more of a, like he will for sure learn to shoot the ball, remember to shoot the ball again, especially because he was on the injury report the other day with a sprained wrist. But Peyton Pritchard as a starter has not been super efficient from three yet. Had an efficient day against the Pistons, 50% from the field. Can't complain too much, but those guys are killing me. And I just can't get over it. Watching them miss a bunch of shots that they should make has to be brutal for Jalen, who on Sunday played an incredible game and is trying to distribute the ball, but nobody is giving him the makes to get assists. Like the Celtics are last in assist percentage is because nobody can make the shot. They're missing threes. They can't make any threes.
Well, I think there's a combination on those on the assist from JB and the shot makes, and this is not it's JB's fault, it's the shooter's fault. It's a combination thing where the Celtics have a lot of what I call pocket shooters. You hit them in the pocket, they get a quick release. It really does amp up their percentages, and Jalen is not as accurate as getting into their pocket, and they're also getting crowded coverage on some of their stuff. And even when they're open, if you've got to reset yourself slightly, it's going to play with your rhythm. And again, I think time heals all wounds. I think we're going to see changes. We're going to see improvements just as they get more comfortable with each other, more familiar with each other in their new roles.
Yeah, I Pritchard and Derek White, I'm not worried about. I think, I mean, Peyton Pritchard's been an elite shooter since college. Derek White has proven that he's a different shooter than he was early in his career for the past X amount of years in Boston. It happens, right? Like slumps happen. If this 3-game stretch happened in January in terms of their shooting, I think people should be like, dang, it's a little slump. It's just the fact that everything is happening at once that makes it look, in my opinion, a lot worse than it is. So, yeah, I don't know. As far as Amari Williams, he's a rookie. He's a second-round, two-way rookie who, didn't look incredible at Summer League. And I don't know. It's
That's
early
a
in the
big
season,
expectation.
but,
Like
yeah.
to be like, hey, We picked you, whatever. I think it was like 44th overall. We can't grab a rebound to save our lives. We're counting on you to go in there and change everything. Please do it. That's a lot to put on a guy coming into the league who isn't even on a standard contract. Like, that's a big expectation. Yes, Ugo has had flashes as a 19-year-old kid as a rookie, but we are comparing apples to oranges in that case. And not for nothing, like, if Amari was to make his way into the game, people would find reasons to get upset at him. Like, he would miss shots around the rim and they'd be like, this guy sucks. How is he in the NBA? Like, it would happen. He is not going to be the savior.
Mhm.
Do not put that on him to be the savior. It doesn't really matter what the fans say. Like, Joe Mazzulla doesn't care what you guys all say. So, like, nothing's going to happen from it. But, like, don't do it to yourselves. Like, don't be like, man, if they would just put it in that kid from Kentucky, they would be winning games here. No, they wouldn't. He is a rookie. He would make mistakes.
Besides, there is only one anointed savior for the Celtics this year, and I'm sad that I haven't mentioned him yet, so I have to get him in here. And that is, of course, the one, the only Neemias Queta.
Yeah, he's actually been not bad. Like, he's been pretty solid, more solid than we thought he would be through these first 3 games. And I think Jack's point about the defense just being shaken up like a bottle of soda is tough. Like, Jacob asked the question, why change the play style if Tatum's going to come back? Well, Tatum might not be back this year. Like, we don't know that. And they kind of have to play that play style of defense to actually be effective because they don't have 5 all NBA level defenders anymore. It's like they got Jalen and Derek, and then everybody else can kind of be picked on, even if like they're going to try really hard. Like, they're not perfect. So they have to be having each other's back. They don't have the luxury of just go ahead, attack this guy. He can guard, so can the next guy and the next guy and the next guy. It's just not like that anymore.
Getting back to what I said earlier, it's like you're missing 3 All-Stars, and even if and that's not counting JT coming back. You know, you're going to need to find a different style of play because you've got different players, and you know, as much as we all want to believe in the power of medical science, we don't know what JT's game is going to look like when he returns from his injury. He may be more of a rebounding defensive force, and you know, ramps back up into scoring. We'll see when we see.
Yeah, I think the changing of play style is more than just Tatum too, right? Like, you lose Al Horford's 38% three ball, or Drew Holiday's 38% three ball, Kristaps 38%, Luke Cornett's stuck her spot in his room presence. Drew Holiday's one of the best defenders in the league. Al Horford fits which under guard and grabs those big. Like, you don't have the personnel that you had last year, even outside of Tatum. Even if Tatum was healthy, I think it would change a little bit the way they play because they don't have the rest of what made it work. And so I think a lot of what's happening right now is still them adapting, them learning, them figuring out how to play with each other. I mean, we spent the past 2 years talking about how important and how, you know, conducive to winning continuity is. You look at the Celtics team year. You look at the Cavs, big surge that they had. Like, they brought the same pieces back. They got to build the same pieces. That got completely torn down. So it was always going to be a little tough. I think just seeing the way they've lost these first 3 games, 3 very winnable games, makes it a little bit more frustrating. Maybe stats and the actual play. So.
It's really funny. Jimmy J in the chat is like, Baylor Shireman is going to save the team. Baylor Shireman has been put out there. He just doesn't do anything, man. Like, his role needs to be more on ball for him to be comfortable, and he's just not. Like, he can't do it. He doesn't make good decisions when he has the ball in his hands. We saw it throughout the preseason. Like, I think he's had opportunity, and he just hasn't really impressed. I don't think Joe Mazzulla is just like messing with him and keeping him on the bench for no reason. I don't think he really trusts him. And he's had a lot of time to earn his trust, and he hasn't done it. And I'm sure there's a reason for that.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised that Jordan Walsh hasn't had at least a little more run. In that he was out there for that little stretch in the Knicks game where he got turned around on, I think, like 3 straight plays. But a couple of those looked like they were teammate miscommunications less than he was out of position. And then Joe decided to do a rotation swap, and he never saw the light of day again.
We can wrap it up here. 1 minute till 8 p.m. RJ, any final thoughts? Thank you for coming to hang out with us.
Thank you for having me. Always a pleasure. Folks, send these people email. I love doing it, but the written word is a wonderful thing. Y'all should take advantage of it too. be a loudmouth like me, because I'm old. I'll die
We'll
soon.
read
Somebody's
'em.
got to come in behind. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm
I
gonna live
like
forever.
that. That was a
Yeah.
great use of your final word plug. Like telling everyone else to email us was fantastic. I mean, yeah, you guys all have so much to say, which we appreciate in the chat. But go ahead and you send in, go look stuff up and send it to us. I don't care. Send us emails about anything. Yeah, this is RJ. But thank you guys all so much for being here. Jack's at the game will be up on the channel in the morning with the post game. And yeah, I'm gonna pull up the Joe video now. Everyone can go enjoy the game.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your